Hello ladies and gents, Michael Burhan here for another vlog video. Now, I wanted to do a video today because I recently came out of a discussion with a friend of mine, a discussion that kind of led to both of us parting ways, and a lot of it was due to a difference of political opinion, I think would be, but another is more due to the fact that I felt that he took things a little bit too far when he was trying to push his own agenda, in a sense. Those who don't know, currently a situation occurred in London Bridge, near Borough Market, basically, where two or more individuals basically came out with knives, tried running down pedestrians and, killing people. I believe there was 7 fatalities and there was about 14 people injured, to the point where it's a discussion of debate. Now, there's two things I don't like when it comes to situations like this. Is one, when something like this occurs, don't use it as a way to push a political agenda. It's not a good idea. It doesn't help you in the long run. And basically, in terms of my opinion, is if you're going to throw something like that in my face, I'm going to basically point out why that's a mistake. I'm agnostic. Always have been agnostic since I was 17, I believe. But I do have family who are of Islamic faith. As you can tell, I'm a brown person. My ties to Palestine are well known because I'm part Palestinian, part Turkish. And I have a cat sitting here licking my fingers right now. But I'm British born. Been born in this country. I'm someone who's I would say third generation, but first generation English, third generation Turkish Cypriot. And a lot of that was because of the fact my grandfather fought for this country. He joined the military, got his visa that way, and also established many businesses through here. So you can tell that my roots to this country are very well documented. But at the same time, I have my own kind of belief system. And the problem being is, not everyone's going to like it. It doesn't make me any friends. If you actually see my main channel, Nerd Genius, I lost subscribers because of my own belief system, and I've lost friends due to my own belief system, because I always try to... I'm an idealist. I try to see the good in people, and I am also one of these people that believe that borders aren't the issue, that border control is. Okay? And what I mean by this is we need a better vetting process. And before anyone goes, well, we do have a vetting process and blah, 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 let me just nail it down for you. You have people who are untrained. You have people who are easily manipulated, and you have people who basically on these borders who don't do their jobs properly. Plus, we have governments and individuals involved in intelligence agencies who threaten, and this is a thing you can check out on BBC News, because our Prime Minister did it. Our current Prime Minister, who, even though she is our Prime Minister, I will point out she is an ass, tried to use the intelligence information, as a way to kind of negotiate a better trade deal with the EU. Now, you should never do that. Also, the fact that this situation occurred because we've had our police budget cut to shreds, to the point that most public services, including the police, which is still a public service, has been cut to shreds. We've had little police officers on the streets. Now, in kind of her way to kind of enforce how her political agenda, she's now shoving like an abundance of police on the streets. Our Mayor of London is doing the same thing. They're going to basically get really aggressive in terms of tackling this now, even though I believe it's a one-off situation. Now back to the topic at hand. He pushed his agenda. He was talking about how Muslims shouldn't be allowed in the country, how Islam is basically this toxic faith. And I pointed out to him and another individual who I'm friends with, who I'm still friends with, by the way, because we're adults. We can agree to disagree on things, well, technically. I pointed out that all religion has had its people who have basically killed in the name of their faith. It had happened. I also pointed out a toxic Christian band of individuals known as the Westboro Baptist Church. That was my rebuttal. They got angry. I was then blocked and unfriended, and I'm just like, okay. But I want to point this out, and I want to basically use it as a topic of discussion of when is it too far? We've currently got Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States, someone who I respect as the POTUS, but as an individual himself, and as someone who doesn't really get his facts right, like 80% of the time, I would point out several flaws in his system. And also the fact that I felt that he basically put a political pledge in that he was going to help the poor and less franchised, and seems to have not done that right now. But that's a story for another video, as I keep saying. He's now taking certain things that Sadiq Khan has said out of context. I'll leave the link to the BBC video where Sadiq Khan actually states in full the reason why he's telling people not to panic, because we've got an abundance of police officers on the street. And he's basically tweeting out saying that, the media's hypocrisy, everyone else's hypocrisy, and blah, 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 blah. And thus, it kind of builds up this age of sheepism. Yeah, sheep. People are just, they look at something, they digest it, they don't fact check it, and they take it from the source. Like currently with the Trump situation, they're taking it from Donald J. Trump as the source. And people take a lot of hate and propaganda. Now, as a culture that hasn't really learned much, like we've had the Iraq War, we've basically had World War I, World War II, and a lot of these are based on issues that we had. The Americans had Japanese internment camps. We blew ourselves to fucking smithereens. Winston Churchill instigated a more social system here in the UK because of the fact that people were hurt. People were driven to breaking point because of the last war we were in. Now, there was also these issues coming out where we've been supplying £3.5 billion worth of guns to the Saudis, which I'm totally against, because that's us just creating the wars. We've basically taken these people, we've trained them, we've given them the means to do this. We created ISIS, we created the Al-Qaeda, and before people start talking about faiths, this is the problem. It's like, you can look at Kim Kardashian as your main source for like fashion, you'll look at Donald J. Trump as your main source for American news, and thus the biggest problem lies in this situation is over the fact that we as people are taking information that is skewed and that is not 100% correct, not fact checking it, and we're digesting it and just throwing it out there. We are becoming, and I'm going to use the word unintentional bigots in a sense, because due to propaganda you're starting to hate certain individuals. And it's become a situation where we're in a society where we're not talking anymore, we're not communicating, we just believe what we believe, and then if anyone else disagrees with us, there's the block button, and then we walk away. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I stay out of these debates. But the problem being is, I'm always the type of person where I give everyone a fair shake. I'm always, in my own opinion, I try to be the person who's fair. I want to be fair to you, I want to be fair to your friends. If I meet you, I will give you every bit of my trust. But if you do something to kind of ruin that, then, I won't trust you again. But I'll always give you an opportunity to, prove me right or prove me wrong. And that's always going to be your opportunity. And I think in terms of humans, we're good people in the long run. And I get people are scared. I get people are upset. I get, families are trying to protect their children, but don't sit there and use it as a reason to hate someone else. That guy in the corner shop, Mr. Habib, or whatever his name is, just because he preaches Islamic faith or he follows a religion that you don't abide by, that you don't like, and that's had a lot of bad PR, maybe you shouldn't really be sitting there judging that person. Maybe, here's a good idea, pick up a Quran, read it, see what this thing that you're scared of is all about. So then you know what to digest from what is good and what is bad. Because in any religion we have good and we have bad. one thing's for sure, we need a separation of church and state. When it comes to Christian values, embodying governments over the United States and the United Kingdom and any other country, and whether it is Islamic values in countries that preach Sharia law, right? And I probably botched that one. I don't care. It needs to be about the individual and their understanding, and as a government official you should be about your people instead of about your own morals and ethical values, because in the end no one gives a shit what you believe in, and that's the truth, and that's a cold hard fact. No one gives a shit. I don't give a shit what you believe in. No one gives a shit what you believe in. My sky god is not better than your sky god. That guy's sky god's not better than your guy's sky god, and it just boggles the mind. It's one of the reasons why I'm agnostic, why I just don't like organised religion. Because there's so much bullshit that comes out of it, and so many people who use it in their own nasty way. Take the values that you learn from your religious beliefs of love, peace, and tolerance. Because I've seen people who preach this shit who don't abide by it. And it's turning me into an angry person. Because I'm raising 4 little people in this world who are supposed to understand the reason why that person hates them. Why the other kid is sitting there calling them a filthy Muslim. And it's not a good world to be in. And I'm sick and tired of people's bullshit and their egos. Take away the political debate for a second. Take away the border control debate for a second. And just think about the people, the refugees that are going from place to place trying to find a home. Why were their country being bombed in the first place? You preach freedom, you preach tolerance, maybe it's time to actually, put up or shut up. And if you want to keep your family safe, then you need to put pressure on the governments to actually put in place proper controls to allow people to go from place to place without being threatened. And it's a very simplistic way of doing it. But here's an idea. You have an FBI database, you have a CIA database, you have every single federal agency all over the world. If someone is known to be attached to a group such as ISIS, then they are not allowed in the country. Click on a computer, boom, comes up. No one's that good at hiding themselves, and you've got loads of hackers out there right now who basically can leak this information. It's all about fact checking, and I swear the next time I get into an argument with someone who sits there and tells me that, this is all because of the filthy Muslims, I will literally just lose my fucking shit. I don't see religion, I don't see gender, I don't see selective groups of people. I just see a person. Love, peace, tolerance. That's all you need. All you need is love. So, this is me saying goodbye, and I will chat to you again when I've got something else to discuss and something else is on my mind. Probably soon, because I'm a very talkative individual. Love you loads. Have a good day.